Right, we're back. So today I'll be talking about the fear of being the aggressive black person in the workplace and being able to speak up on those matters. My last live got a lot of views. You lot was interested in that one. So I'm just going to remind you what that is called. So if you're a young black person getting into construction, you need to hear this. That was the last live which I done, which has got over like 783 views, which is good for me, you know. So I've realized this is a good subject, or a touching subject which people want to hear about. I get it. Some people are going to fly off in the comment section. Believe me, if it's all positive, I will always respond myself. But if it's something negative, we ain't got time for that. So anyway, we've got to move on to this first subject which we've got. So I thought about this video, but sometimes you need things to parallel reference what you're talking about. So we're gonna go off this first clip. So just have a little listen to it. Hold on one second.
I don't know who needs to hear. I don't know who needs to hear this, but do not let your fear of being labelled as the aggressive black girl stop you from speaking up at work. I repeat that again. Do not let your fear of being labelled as the aggressive black girl stop you from speaking up at work. Because
So a little bit of context to that. Inside some workplaces, yeah, some people are seen of color as being aggressive people because of the way how we might explain things to people, or the character references what we put with our parallels or our phrases or something like that, or the way you're approaching a situation, and you might be so frustrated it's starting to show on your face. Again, I call that in my life a draw out. Yeah. People want to draw you out of the character what you are and turn you into something else, which they want to label you with. Yeah. Um, Inside, I've had corporate jobs, I've worked on sites, I've also worked inside just normal workplaces. Yeah. And at different points, you will get that from different people, whether they feel that you fit this type of narrative and they can push you down that road of, yeah, I asked him something and he was really aggressive, or I asked her something and she was really aggressive. What was aggressive? Your definition of aggression to somebody else is going to be two different things. It is subjective, but it does have some definitely strong lines which run by it when it comes to thinking of the word aggression, or how someone could behave aggressively to someone else, right? But the point being made, yeah, is that from the beginning, there is always a label and a stigma about every different types of people. I'm not willing to discuss all of them on my live because it's nonsense. We all know what they're out there, innit? Some people think, oh, because this person is from this culture, they're like this, or because this person is like this, they're like this. I will tell you something. So I recently, in 2025, worked with a person, and they lived in Kent. They live out of London. They're from Bromley, yeah, I think it is. And basically where their upbringing is, yeah, and I've worked around this estate as well, yeah, it is predominantly white people. Cool, no problem. But again, once you leave your estate or go anywhere else, yeah, there is a mixture of a lot of different people, different races and stuff like this. Like that is right next to like Woolwich, I think it is the place where I'm talking about. And I could see that from this person, just the way they acted, yeah, who they kind of socially mixed with. They predominantly mixed with just other white males, which is okay. You can have whatever friends you want. Like in life, you choose what you want, innit? At the end of the day, if you want an Indian mate, a black mate, a white mate, cool, you can have that. People want to be friends with people, periodly. But what I'm saying is just that there are some people who are closed off. Do you get it? They just do their own thing. And when I say they just do their own thing, is I mean, they're not mixing with other people. How they learn about other people is probably just through the BBC and other people. Do you get it? Like they're that type of people, and there's a lot of people like that. Because again, if you ask most adults who are maybe like in their 50s or 40s, no, generally 50s or 60s, right? So if you do, because that's what age my parents are, if you do have friends of different races, do they come to your house? Just ask them that simple question. I had a partner one time, and this is real stories. She's Turkish, right? And she told me that her family are not racist and all that, but that's just like a whole different story. But what I want to say is I asked her that simple question. So your family have got like black friends and Asian friends or whatever. Do they come to your house? No, they don't come to your house. They're not your friends. Stop the foolishness, man. You know, people who we let in our house, yeah, I'm not trying to say that determines if you're a friend or not. But again, wanting to invite people in to spend time with you and all, that's all things what friends do. You know what I mean? Like adults, when they get to the door, if they want to their friend to come in, they don't say just wait at the door for me, I'll talk to you at the door. They don't do that. They're not a child. Do you get it? Come in, have a cup of tea, sit down, have a drink. Let's watch a little bit of TV. Do you understand where I'm going with this? There you go. So I just wanted to bring that to the point of when I say I have a good gauge of people, and I just ask them straight up, and I don't have time to be playing with people. But let's continue on with the clip because I'm going to take it back. I did talk for a minute, but I do want you to hear the clip through. But I wanted to paraphrase to certain things, right? So we're going to start the clip again.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but do not let your fear of being labelled as the aggressive black girl stop you from speaking up at work. I repeat that again. Do not let your fear of being labelled as the aggressive black girl stop you from speaking up at work. Because if you do, people will take advantage of it. I was talking to my friend who works for an insurance firm in the customer service department, and she was telling me how there's been a lot of stuff going on at work where she's being called out for certain things when other people at work will do it and nothing will get said about it. And it was really making her upset. But she was like, look, I'm just going to kind of keep my head down and like not complain about it because I don't want to do too much. And I was like, what do you mean? Sometimes.
Do you know what? I had to stop it again there because I have something to tell you when it comes to a lot of black or Caribbean people and stuff like that. At the end of the day, this keeping your head down thing, yeah, it's like a generational thing, what your parents will tell you. Just keep your head down in your job. Don't get into any arguments. Don't get into da 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 da. Do you know what? The generations are different. I'm not them. They're not me. Some of us are not having it. Some of us will just let you hit the internet and expose you. Some of us have extra time on our hand to make the content, to be able to put together to say it's this person that tried to ruin my life. And they ruined me by doing this for no reason, but only reason of maliceness, but only reason of just hatred or dislike towards this person, right? And if you've got that much energy or time or to have that level of dislike towards people, you should be somewhere else. I'll be honest. I'm not telling you that I'm going to leave because I won't be leaving. You should leave because there's no place for this type of thing in life. There is always a strong community who back that type of behavior. It's I don't know who they are, but they're a strong group of individuals inside workplaces, secret handshakes, like that type of vibe where it's like, oh yeah, I done this to this person, I done that to that person. Who could top it with the biggest thing what they've done to somebody else to ruin them or to be able to silence them? Do you get it? And when we talk about silencing, yeah, or being silent, yeah, it's just being silent so you can get to the end of the week, get your money, and don't worry about it. But it will play on your mind, innit? Because over the years and over the time, people have understood that mental health and the things which people worry about are they're the things what are sending people crazy. Lupo, so to say. They will have it playing on your mind so much you'd think it's you. And it's not you, it's never you, it's always them. But it's like getting to that understanding, you're like, but why though? What's the purpose? The purpose is what? Ruin and destroy. What, are we all playing Call of Duty? Is this Black Ops? Because if this is Black Ops, just let people know, innit? And everyone could get it. And that's not the way how anybody could live, because you can't go around your life doing that, innit? You have to work around people and live around people. We all got to live around each other until you get a bigger ass where you don't have to see people or you're not asking no one for nothing. And that's the way a lot of people feel. But let's get back to the clip because I keep on intervening, but I want to intervene to be able to tell you context.
a bit of aggression is required to sort some shit out. And the thing is, like, in the corporate world, it's not aggression. You just have to be diplomatic, right? You have to be careful with your words and your approach to sort out the situation. Let's say you're doing something and then your colleague is getting away with also doing the same thing, right? You don't want to be like, but she did it, so why can't I do it? You want to say,
happens very frequently, sounds very frequent. It's a thing which people hear so many times, but I'm lucky, yeah, because I'm a self-taught person. Like, I self-taught myself a lot of things. I watch a lot of things. I try to find things which educate me in a good direction, right? Even when it comes to work, even when it comes to understanding what I'm doing. So me being a plumbing lecturer, yeah, I try to understand all implications of my own job and the effects on others, right? So when you do that, yeah, you become a bit more knowledgeable about the things what you should know. But when you level them up to your peers or people who are in the same industry as you or whatever, they don't know these things. They watch these things because you're dropping gems. Do you get it? And but it's the way you deliver those things, like, like, as a plumber, if there's an emergency, like where I am, yeah, and then there's like, they've got like a KPI to be able to reach, like they have to do it between this time and this time. If there's an emergency leak in the building, we have to attend within 30 minutes or 20 minutes, blah 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 blah. That's all part of their contracts, right? And if I know that, yeah, I'm gonna try and do that my best and make sure that I have documented it as well, because I know that if it comes up later, I can say that, oh, it came in at this time and we attended at this time. So I might take a photo, I might take a video when we get there. So therefore, this is what happened when we first come there. So we was actually on and we attended, and it's time stamped and everything like that. It's covering myself, yeah. It's things which I know we should do. But when I ask them, and I ask them one thing, oh, so what is the contingency plan? Because that is the right word, the contingency plan. And this is the whole like understanding about words when it comes to corporate environments or just environments in general. Like, the more you know yourself, yeah, the smarter you get, because they were never gonna fucking tell you in the first place. Anyway, let's carry on.
something like, I just want to be aware if we're using a consistent process across the board. Because from my perspective, I was just following what ex-colleague was doing. If you say it like that, listen, yeah, no one can chat for you. It's about being good with these words, guys. But it doesn't mean you should be a victim and let people walk all over you. Like, as TFL says, see it, say it, sort it. But anyways, if you don't know about me, I'm Steven. I run a...
As TFL say it, sort it, see it, all that type of vibe. That is to the T. But I thought, what more context could I give to this video to make it even more juicier, but also allow people to have a start, middle, and an end, yeah? Because that's what I think a good video is about, right? So I'm gonna show you another TikTok which I found, which showed you about the type of words the corporate world would use and you would use. Because again, we don't go around saying corporate things because it's not that, innit? People just talk normally. Like you can see, for most people who can switch, like myself, where I'm either talking in some video mode or I'm just keeping it busy and we're just talking normally. That whole switch it can affect you, and it can also play back on you as well, because sometimes you might slip out of character and you might say something, or someone might be talking to you at work and you might, what did you say? You what? Or at times I've been annoyed with people and I've had to speak to them in certain ways so they understand that I'm not joking with them. There's no jokes going on here. Even though I'm telling you, you can't do this and you've done this wrong, yeah, you will be getting in trouble for it, because it's not that. We're not doing that. And that sometimes people, they could mistake, or it could be like, oh, he was quite aggressive at that point. Yeah, possibly, but you might have deserved it. That's how I move. Do you get it? Like, I'm not on tit for tat or carrying something over from yesterday. That's one thing I've realized for myself with all situations. If I can dead them there, they're getting dead there. We're talking about it. Cool. We're moving on, and we're getting on to the next bit. But you shouldn't be scared to tell people. And I understand why a lot of people are not telling people about things, because, HR, and anything to do with the company is not for you, period. Like, I mean, like, they'll find a way to conspire to get you out in any means necessary because you're causing them a problem. You're effectively becoming a whistleblower. I've done this before because, like I said, I was at work. I've told the story before. I said to someone, "Oh, this person's really speaking to me in ways which is not necessary inside the workplace." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I said what he said, and he goes, "Oh, was he being racist towards you?" And I said, "That's not what I said at all. I never said anything about my race." Again, he never said anything like that. It was nothing of the sort. But the guy took it to the extreme by thinking I was going to play the race card because maybe he felt that was my strongest card. Not really. My strongest card was telling you the facts of what happened, innit? And which I did, which I didn't expect him to do anything from, but his response allowed me to know where you're at, innit? Because if you look around in the dark, you'll find something, innit? And we will look around in the dark, let this man talk. So his response to me was like, "Oh, well, I'm not racist, Jay. I got black mates. I got black mates on Facebook. Here, let me show you my phone. There's a black guy on it from Facebook. I beg your pardon," with the Dr. Umar face. "I beg your pardon. What did you say?" And from there, I knew it was cooked. We are cooked here. We are fully cooked. We've just thrown it in the air fryer, fully heating it up, 180. I just said, "Oh, cool, man. Don't speak to me about nothing." He's like, what's up?" I said, "Don't speak to me about anything today, period. You're done with talking to me. Yeah? We'll talk tomorrow, innit? Because I have a level, I have a threshold, and I have a point of like, you're not fucking with me on this level at all." And that's that. We don't need to talk too much about that. Again, I like to put things to bed, but I do like to tell people that there is always other ways in this world of working, how to deal with people. And some of the words we use in normal English, like I'm talking now, compared to being in the corporate world when someone asks you something. And this was another really good one, which I want you to listen to, because these are some words which generally we say when we want to explain things, but in the corporate world or in the working world, we say these words. This is the same world you're living in. It's just getting up and going to work and putting on clothes. Again, if you want to call it corporate world, that's your business, but I'll just call it just 9 to 5 life.
In English, we say, "How does your mind work?" In corporate, we say, "Can you talk me through your thought process?" In English, we say, "Can we get back to my point, please?" In corporate, we say, "Let's circle back." In English, we say, "Oh, I'm not going back and forth with you." In corporate, we say, "Unfortunately, this isn't an open discussion or open for negotiation. It was an instruction." In English, we say, "I actually don't care." In corporate, we say, "I'm happy to leave your better judgment on this one." English, we say, "Oh my gosh, I love that idea." In corporate, we say, "Fab." In English, we say, yeah, I'm not really planning on staying to the end. In corporate, we say, "I'm really sorry, I've got a hard stop at 3, so I'll just pick anything up via the notes afterwards, okay?"
So you see what I mean? So there's different ways in talking to people in English and in corporate. But again, it's the same language, but it's just different things which people accept in different scenarios, if you get what I mean. So in the corporate scenario, they expect you to be, proper and knowing the words which mean the things which they mean. And don't get finessed in it, because that's what the game's all about, is being finessed. Being finessed in the 9 to 5 time is mad in 2025. If you're watching this in 2025 and you're still getting finessed, don't worry, innit? Because it happens to a lot of us. But the thing about it is, just don't be called out to be that angry person when you're just expressing yourself. And people are not going to understand how you express yourself, because 99 to 100% of people never, ever, ever, ever want to get to know you. So let's just keep it real. They don't know you from nobody. Like, most people in the workplace know nothing about the people who they spend 40 hours a week with, because whether it's conversation, bonding time, or whatever, you don't get those times. Do you get it? No one really cares if you're going through some hardship and they're going through their own hardship. They care about their own. Selfish people are in those places, and they are just there to serve themselves. They're not there to serve you, not there to serve you about your feelings, your emotions, or how you feel, or taking into consideration the delicacy, or taking into consideration of the situation, and having some type of training, or being qualified to be able to have conversations around these types of things. Do you get it? Like, I've never met any managers who have been on any racial discrimination training for having other race people at work. Not met any. I don't think there is any. None of them have been on any type of training for that. And if inclusion includes everybody inside the workplace, you would need to have something like this. You'd need to have some training to be able to identify certain things. Because again, you're managing people with lots of different abilities, disabilities, and problems, right? So you need to have some training with that at the end of the day. Most managers, if they listen to my content, they wouldn't really have a lot to argue with, because again, I always allow the comment section to flow and let people talk. So look back on some of my other videos, even when I say do if you're young black, sorry, the video I'm going to tell you the title to. If you're a young black male getting into construction in the UK, you need to hear this. That video's doing bits. Again, got some people in the comment section, but it's not negative. I'll be totally honest with you. It's quite positive, which I'm happy for, because I'm speaking about my own experiences and things which might have happened to me. Again, if you agree or disagree, that's your business. I'm still going to talk. This is my platform. I do what I want. I'm going to say what I want, and I'm going to make content which is going to help people. It's not about dividing people or setting people off. If you're triggered by something, you should watch something else, but stay to the end so I'll get a full view of your thing as well. But anyway, more to the point, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back with another topic very soon. It's Mr. London Plumber. Let's get it. We out.